What's up guys? Welcome back. I appreciate you subscribing and watching till the end. So in the last video, I had to recut my crossover pipe. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to fit it. I didn't check anything when I put the front diff and the drive shaft in. So we got that all figured out now. Now I just need to pull it out. I'm going to finish weld it and then wrap it. But I'm also going to try to make some drive shaft safety loops today. So I did pick up this, it's like 1/2 inch by 1/8 inch. Now before you say anything, what I want to do with this is loop it. So this material is going to be thin enough to bend, and then I'm going to double it up, similar to how I built my transmission stand for my engine stand. Here's what I did for the transmission holder for the engine stand. I just took 2 thinner pieces. These are pretty wide, but took 2 thinner pieces, bent them, and then welded them together, and this thing is really strong. It holds a 200+ pound transmission on the stand. So that's what I want to try to do with this thing, and maybe just proof of concept and see how well it works. It's a really tight area to get into, so I'm not really sure how much room I'm going to have down there, so that's kind of why I want to do this. I feel like if I double it up and weld it, it should be pretty strong. But yeah, we'll see what we got to do. So the other obvious option would be to get like a 4-inch pipe, like 1/4 inch thick, 4-inch or 5-inch pipe, and then weld that in. But I'm going to try this first, and we'll go from there. All right, so I got the crossover finished welded and wrapped up. Driver's side manifold wrapped up. I knew I was going to be short, so I started this side with some leftover black that I had. That's going to be buried way underneath, so not really worried about that. But even picking the stuff up off the shelf, compared to this, the feeling is totally different. This one is really, it's really fiberglassy feeling, like it's really prickly. This stuff's kind of smooth yet. This is older, but I mean, I remember it feeling like that kind of when I pulled it out of the box. So definitely liking the titanium colored stuff better so far. So that should help me go like 1,000,000 miles an hour. All right, so I slapped some primer on this drive shaft. This is a front drive shaft. Just using this Rust-Oleum rusty metal primer. Use on heavily rusted metal. This thing was heavily rusted, so we're gonna try this. Let this coat of primer dry, flip it over, and then we'll use the black on there. Get it all painted. Alright, I guess I'll show you guys. I've been going to town on this loop. I just wound it up into like a coil here, and then welded the whole thing together on the one side. So it'll be really strong. So that should work actually pretty decent. So I'm gonna go and do the other side so it doesn't hold water and stuff, and then yeah. Alright, well here it is, all welded up, all 4 layers, 3 layers in some spots, but I'll paint it and it'll go over just like this. So I don't know, might look weird, but you won't be getting me to believe that this thing is weaker than a regular safety loop. So this is the safety loop I was using before. So it's just this bolted together shenanigan here, but it's just like 3/16 flat bar. So I think this is probably going to be plenty strong, and all I need to do is get it to not rip the transmission apart if this thing breaks. So I'm going to mount it somewhere in the middle. I feel like that'd probably be the best spot because it doesn't have much room on either side to whip around very much. So we'll see. I'm going to mount it in a couple different spots and see where I like it. One idea that I have is I'm going to use this body mount bolt, or body mount on the bottom side, and run a bolt or something through there, and with a bar across the top, because there's one all the way on the other side, and it does clear the pan, transmission pan. So that would actually end up being right in the middle of where the drive shaft is. So I might try that. So there we go, got a little paint on it. So one thing, it might be a little bit big. I got to test fit it yet and see how much play this thing actually does get if it breaks. But you know, what I'm more concerned about is, you know, front of it breaks, it digs down in the concrete, and then jams the shaft up into the driver's seat. I mean, the transfer case is right here, so the front U-joint, or the rear U-joint of the shaft is right about, you know, right in my nuts. So that's kind of what you want to, or what I want to prevent anyways, is the thing dropping down and digging into the concrete. I mean, the transmission's replaceable. My testicular agent is not, so that's the idea. Okay, humans, this is probably the most ridiculous piece that you've ever seen, but this is the center loop welded to a, I don't know, 3/16 sheet, piece of flat bar, and then I took some 4-inch exhaust tubing and I crimped it around, kind of like bead rolled it, basically. And then this is my simulated drive shaft here. So this is what it's going to look like. It's got about 1 inch of clearance all the way around, strong center, and then I have these other pieces. But the reason I split this in the middle is because I couldn't get it over the U-joints in front and back. So I want this thing to be able to go cleanly over the U-joints. So what I'm going to do is I have these pieces, cut them, split them open, and then I'm going to cut these pieces, split them, and then run them over the top and then weld them down. So what that's going to do is it's going to give it a little extra thickness and open up the gap a little bit, and should make them stronger and big enough to go over the top. And then we have a $8 drive shaft safety loop that will support the drive shaft in the center and on the outsides. Swing. Alright guys, so we got the shaft all painted and we have the safety loop made. You can see this is literally just some scrap I had. This was when I was practicing with the TIG. So this thing is, if I hold it center, it has, I would say, about 1 inch of clearance all the way around it. The center has probably about 2 inches all the way around. Then the other side is same thing, about 1 inch all the way around. So the idea is that if it breaks in the front or the back or lets go, you have a very strong center section, and then this outer section to just kind of catch it and just keep it from flopping all over the place. So ultimately the center section is the strongest and would keep it from completely falling down and digging into the ground. And ideally these things would be strong enough to just keep it from flopping around enough that it wouldn't take out the transmission and everything else until you realize what was going on and were able to slow down. So that's where I'm at right now. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. I'm gonna get that thing in probably tomorrow. I'm gonna go in and eat and shower and go to bed and do all that shit, edit the video, get it up, because this is the second day on this video now. So thank you guys for watching to the end. If you are not subscribed and you made it this far, thank you, and please subscribe because we got more of this weird shit coming up. And then we're going to work on this thing, hopefully very soon. I want to get to this thing. We're doing twin turbos and that biatch, and that should be fun. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.